Do you buy Grivna? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs. Or maybe the question is, what is the exchange rate from Grivna to, well, pick your currency. Grivna to euros, to dollars, to ruble, or maybe to Bitcoin. Grivna is the state currency of Ukraine. And to nobody's surprise, nobody is buying Grivna right now. The market is in big scare. Nobody believes this currency has a current value which could easily be assessed. So therefore, you either are forced to sell Grivna at an extreme discount if you want to get some money out of it, and if you're desperate, or you're just stuck. This brings me to the question, what if the Ukrainian refugees leaving the country in the war zone would have not the need to change Grivna over to the currency of the country where they reside in, but what if they would have their own portfolio of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies? They had no problems in not only getting the currency out, no issues of being afraid of being robbed on the way, but also no issues of having a fair currency evaluation. So here is another use of a cryptocurrency which so many years ago or even months ago was not in their mind. The ability to use cryptocurrency in times of crises, in moments of disaster, when your house, your home is no longer accessible and all you have is a virtual wallet. Bitcoin, not only as a way of speculation, but also as a way to bring your wealth safety into another country. What is the Chicago Convention? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs, or more precise, the Chicago Convention on International Aviation. It is the cornerpiece of rules how international airlines, how countries are regulating their business of air travel. There are rules regarding airspace, aircraft registration, safety, security, sustainability, and whatever else is needed for safe air travel. Signed in 1944, it is still in place. 193 countries joined this convention, which is pretty much the whole wild world. But why is this a problem? Because the Chicago Convention seems to be set aside by Russia. Doing business in countries where the rule of law is non-existent is pretty risky. And right now, airline leasing companies are finding it out. My fellow frequent listeners to my morning musings will remember that not so long ago I talked about the rule of law. Now it is another rule of law issue. The leasing companies, most of them based in Ireland, are leasing over 515 airplanes worth more than 10 billion US dollars to Russian airlines, and Russia seems to be usurping them now. President Putin approved a law switching the jets over to a Russian airline registry, which makes their return from an airplane point of view rather difficult. European Commission is working with the regulatory agencies to get the planes back, but hope is rather dull. So the leasing companies have now been subjected to Putin's new measure, and the rule of law certainly will not apply here. For the lessors, the help to reduce and remove airline safety protocol does not help them, because those airplanes may be flown inside of Russia, and if they're never crossing outside of Russian territory, there's really nothing the world can do. The rule of law, however, is being stepped on again, and I only hope that the rule of law will prevail on the long run. Is Amazon unionized? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs, and the quick answer is no in general, but there is this one warehouse in Staten Island, New York, which just passed on the vote for a union. The ALU, the Amazon Labor Union, voted with a tight 2,000 something versus 2,000 something votes of the 8,000 employees, slightly more than the 30% needed to vote yes for union. The big call is, of course, for higher wages, but also for paid sick leave for injuries sustained on a job and for some other benefits. Amazon is trying to reduce the unionization, but does it work in other states? Well, the other vote in Alabama was a clear no. But at this time, we need to look whether this will create a ripple effect in other Amazon locations where unionizing may happen or it may not happen. Amazon seems to be in a certain trend. Not so long ago, Starbucks, workers in different Starbucks operated or independent franchises opened the argument about unionizing there as well. The arguments are that many workers have a second job, or some of them actually need government subsidies, and therefore unions are needed in order to protect their rights. If it comes down to what's next, the question is also why it happened right now. Maybe the current economic climate with a relatively high inflation and an uncertain future makes people think that unions may not be a bad idea. Maybe also at the end of the day, Amazon may take this as a signal to look into their policies, especially policies governing work-related injuries. The future will tell how more and more locations will unionize with Amazon. But for now, the question I have is, how does this impact us as Amazon customers?
Whether you're a private citizen, an international business leader, or simply someone eager to stay on top of the latest news, this book is a great way to get caught up on the most recent developments in the worlds of international business, tax, politics, and social affairs. Go to morningmusings.com and order your copy today.
What are gender pronouns? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs. And we all have seen them in emails or in LinkedIn profiles. He, she, they, them. The pronouns are a way to identify yourself, but also to give others a chance to identify you by your preferred gender. Alaskan Airlines is now taking the inclusion efforts at a different level and is issuing pins for the preferred pronouns for all of their flight attendants. Their dedication to inclusion in the workplace drives their motivation, and now the frontline employees have an opportunity to not only have the gender pronoun, but also to pick and to dress in the uniform they prefer to use as it reflects best their gender identity. Some of my frequent musing friends will remember that not so long ago, I talked about Air Canada, who as a first airline dropped the traditional ladies and gentlemen greetings and changed it to hello everyone in order to be more inclusive for their customers. Now this is a different level where the inclusion doesn't stop, doesn't start, it includes everybody, and gender pronouns make it easier. The gender neutral uniforms and the gender pronouns are one side. The other side is, what are you doing in your company? How do you treat customers? How do you work with your employees? And maybe if you're running a company, there's an opportunity for you also to make everybody feel welcome. Let me know how you implement a welcoming strategy or how you implement gender pronouns in your company. Maybe we can experience share. In any case, a better workplace gives a better environment for customers because the happiness from the employees just runs over everybody. What is Spin Launch? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs. Spin Launch is one of the newest and hottest satellite launching companies there is. No, it is not Blue Origin or SpaceX. It is, of course, not NASA or the traditional state-controlled entities. Spin Launch is an innovative space technology company which has created an alternative method of putting a 200-kilogram satellite into Earth orbit. Yes, it is low Earth orbit, but it takes up to 5,000 miles per hour once the satellite is launched. How does it work? It uses the power of a centrifuge, and in doing that, it uses 4 times less fuel at 10 times less cost. That's at least the claim. The company was created in 2014, and they want to launch in less than 10 years, around the year 2025, the first commercial operation. They are already trying it live, and a couple of weeks ago, the first real satellite was launched, so proof of concept is there. What is so fascinating about that? Not only that there is another competitor in the market, which we all felt is impossible to compete in, but also that they're using a different technology. The centrifuge power will create a launch, no longer a fossil fuel burning rocket. Because a centrifuge uses renewable energy as in electricity, and therefore it has a different footprint with regard to carbon emissions, but also it is at a different price point. So here we have, again, the creativity of inventors, the creativity of entrepreneurs to compete with big companies. When Elon Musk started with SpaceX to compete with NASA, people were smiling. But now here we have another company who's competing against Elon Musk and NASA. People are smiling too. We will see.